Good morning everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar. We are going to look at Autodesk Takeoff as a cloud-based quantification solution. During today's presentation, we'll cover what Autodesk Takeoff is and outline how to win more bids with faster, more accurate takeoff. We will then provide a product demo of Autodesk Takeoff, which will show you how it can help you complete your takeoffs more efficiently, and then we'll have a Q&A at the end. To think about what you can do to create robust pre-construction strategies, which can make the most impact on the bottom line and set the tone for the entire life cycle of your project. So investing in technology can help alleviate the pains of rising material costs and labor shortages by helping you to define costs more accurately early on in the project and by helping teams work more efficiently. So before we head into the product demo, let's look at some of the benefits that come from implementing a cloud-based 2D and 3D takeoff approach. By adopting a combined 2D and 3D experience, you can leverage a single source of truth for all your project members to collaborate from. So this will ensure that all team members are looking at the most up-to-date information to build their estimates. Being cloud-based also will increase collaboration across teams in order to reduce any potential for duplication of effort and create a much more seamless experience during estimating reviews. To continue to enhance collaboration, all your teams should be working through comparable processes during takeoffs, being able to standardize on one tool so all estimators are using the same classification systems, and Autodesk Takeoff will enable this. And then lastly, a connected 2D and 3D experience will also allow all estimators to take off more efficiently and accurately. So that brings us to Autodesk Takeoff, which is a cloud-based 2D and 3D quantification solution that helps you work collaboratively to generate more accurate quantities faster. Autodesk Takeoff is part of the Autodesk Construction Cloud and also leverages Autodesk Docs as its backbone for document control. So this is the same document management leveraged by Autodesk BIM Collaborate and Build, which gives you a single source of truth. It also enables teams to stay connected from design right through to construction in a single environment. So enough about that. Let's head into the product demo for Autodesk Takeoff. Here we have our project open on ACC, and we will start with packages. Here on the sidebar, and then go to settings. First we will choose the appropriate measurement system for our project. Next we will choose a classification system. The drop-down will give you two options. We can use the sample assembly classification if this happens to be a test project, but in a real project it will require us to upload a custom classification system. So the classification information is usually stored in estimating and cost systems and will need to be replicated within Autodesk Takeoff. So we will select Upload System Classification, and a panel comes up here on the right. This arrow gives you the steps to add a classification system. First you will need to download the Excel template. Once we open it, we will see the instructions at the top. Do not delete these instructions before re-uploading this template. So once you have completed the Excel spreadsheet, you can save it and upload it by selecting the Import Custom System. If you are using two different classification systems, you can choose a second system here. Now that you have your package settings set, you can upload and publish your 2D sheets. All project members using Takeoff are given managed permissions, which allows everyone to upload and publish sheets and models to Takeoff. So once the project has been created, we are ready to upload our sheets and go to Sheets and Models. When publishing sheets and models, you have to follow 4 steps: uploading sheets, selecting a version set, reviewing sheet numbers, and reviewing sheet titles and the tags. So we'll start by clicking on Upload Files. To upload your sheets, you will choose files from your computer. You can have a multiple sheet file or have individual PDFs for each sheet. When it is done uploading, you can click Next to Version Set. Then you will give it a name and an issuance date. Keep in mind that the issuance date dictates the chronological order for the sheets in the project. It is recommended to use the issue date used by the design team, and now you will click on Next to Sheet Numbers. You can scroll through the list to review the sheet numbers. You can see the file name, the sheet thumbnail, sheet number, and the history revision. You can also easily compare the title block of the sheet with the extracted sheet number for accuracy, and if any sheet numbers were not extracted properly, you are able to edit them. So if there are only a handful of sheet numbers to edit, you can just click in the field and change it one by one. If there are a lot more sheets to edit, select them on the left. Notice when you select sheets, these options at the top become available. So you have all your sheets selected. There are 2 ways to edit them. The first one will be draw a sheet number area. And then the second one is edit sheet numbers with 3 selections. Yeah, once you are done reviewing your sheets, you will click Next to Titles and Tags. Now we will see the extracted sheet numbers, thumbnail, titles, and tags. Similar to sheet numbers, sheet titles are extracted automatically but not extracted from the sheet title block by default. Rather, they're extracted from the index sheet if it has been uploaded. If there is no index sheet or for any reason the sheet titles were not extracted properly, you can always edit them. Similar to the sheet number, you can change them by selecting the field or by selecting the sheets and using the 2 options at the top. So in the last column are the tags. Tags groups the sheets and allow to find them quickly. The tags are automatically added according to discipline, but you are able to add custom ones. Then when we are done, we can click on Publish Sheets. We will go to the 3D Models tab to upload our 3D models. I will add some Revit files. You can also upload IFC format files. So depending on the file size, it might take some time for the files to upload. So we will not wait for these ones to upload, but just please note, do not select Done until the files are finished uploading. This is because when you are moving to another tool, it will cancel the upload. Right, so here we have all our models we need that we have uploaded, and it will be listed under the 3D Models tab. Only one view for a Revit file containing multiple views is published to the sheets and models in Takeoff, and you can publish files from the Files tool to Takeoff instead of files from your computer. So we will not be covering the Files tool in this demo, but please go watch our webinar about Autodesk Docs covering the Files tool. So now that we have our sheets and models, we will begin our Takeoff process, which will be done in the Packages tool. So in Takeoff, you will perform a takeoff for one specific package at a time, and the takeoff inventory is the output of primary work done within a takeoff package. So we will now go to Packages and create a new package. Takeoff packages are usually organized and named by the scope of work or trade division. Within takeoff packages, we will use takeoff types to organize and describe groups of takeoff objects which have shared properties. To create takeoff types, we will select this structural package we created, and this will open the takeoff viewer. Select the takeoff types icon, and this is where you will create and manage your takeoff types. So let's create a takeoff type. Here you will complete the takeoff type form and fill in the required information. You will enter a name like structural columns. Then we will select the tool to use when taking off objects of this type. We will then change the appearance of the takeoff tool markup. You can also add a description. This is optional but is still recommended. Next, you need to select the classification. This drop-down gives you a list of classifications we added to the project. The final required field is the output if you want to calculate the cubic yards of concrete needed for the cast in place columns we are counting. If you want, you can create a secondary output and choose a classification and output setting, and enter the information to calculate the second output with a formula or by adding the dimensions. You can select from existing formulas or even create your own. So now we will save our settings and it will create our takeoff type. You can also import types. You will select a project, then your takeoff package, and the takeoff types. Users will be warned if project units or classifications do not match, and duplicates will have a number to be easily identifiable. So now that we have our takeoff types, we can begin our takeoff. First, we will select our sheet and or models. Once we click on a sheet we want, it will open it in the takeoff viewer. So to start creating your takeoffs, we will select the takeoff type to use. We will select the structural columns here and then select the individual columns on the sheet. As you select the columns, the quantities will start populating next to the takeoff type as you go. So let's create another takeoff type. This type we will create a linear measurement. You will draw a line across the distance you want to be measured. You can also create a polyline and click on each point you want to measure, and then double click or press enter on the last selection point to end the measurement. So now we will create an area takeoff. So you will click different points to create your area shape and then double click or press enter to close the shape. If you have areas you would like to combine, you can select them and then click combine and cutout tool and then combine the areas. So you can then continue to create your takeoffs on the rest of your sheets. Right, so now to create a takeoff on a 3D model. So we'll select the filter icon and select 3D models. To begin our 3D takeoff, we will select an object in the model. And then we'll click on the plus button to create a new takeoff type. The name generates from the type name in the Revit model, but you can change it. We'll also select the classification and output, and also create model mappings. To add more objects to the takeoff type, we will select the object in the model, right click on it and select all flat slab 5-inch, and it will select all objects with the shed property. Then click the check mark to add the objects to the takeoff. If we want to make sure we have taken off all the items in this 3D building, we can use the Form Cluster tool, which breaks down the building into all the different categories from Revit. And then if you've missed anything, you can go and select them and add them to the necessary type. So to see a cumulative view of all the takeoff items across all sheets and models, we will open the inventory by selecting the inventory icon. So it will open a panel and display all the objects you have selected. You can also move this panel to a different screen for better visibility. So once the takeoff package is completed, we can export the inventory data. This will export to an Excel file that will be organized by the current inventory grouping. And you can click on the export button and it will auto download the Excel file. To export the inventory data for all packages, you will go to the Packages tab and click Export All, and you can then choose how you want to organize the inventory data and click Export, and an Excel file will be automatically downloaded containing all the takeoff inventory data across all packages. So that will be it for the webinar. We will now go into the discussion and Q&A. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to drop that in the Q&A section. If you guys have any comments or thoughts you'd like to share, please drop that in the chat section. If there are no further questions, I would like to conclude this webinar. Here on screen you'll find our contact information. So if there's any additional information that you require or any questions that you might have, please feel free to contact us, and we are looking forward to hearing from you.